Tonight's episode of the West Coast Wrestling Connection is brought to you by Sports Radio 750 The Game, The Pita Pit, Voodoo Donuts, The Brunch Box in downtown Portland, The Hilton Garden Inn at the Portland Airport, Beds for Less and Furniture, and Shakers Martini Lounge.
And their opponents.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mikey O'Shea, Gangrel, your new tag team champions. Gangrel, what are we going to do tonight? Bang and bang.
At a combined weight of 590 pounds, the one-man wrecking machine, Mikey O'Shea, and the Vampire Warrior, Gangrel. They are the West Coast Wrestling Connection Tag Team Champions. This is a non-title matchup. Your referee, Scooter Q. Hansen.
Well, my suit may need a little dry cleaning right there after getting the shower, courtesy of the Vampire Warrior, Gangrel. Back at ringside now, Joe V and Jeff Aiken. Jeff's microphone having a little bit of issues. We've got techs on that, working on that right now. But right now, I'm going to bring you the solo commentary while they get this ironed out here so they can hear both of us. But here we go, Mikey O'Shea and Gangrel, who recently defeated the American Guns for the West Coast Wrestling Connection Tag Team Championships in a TLC tables, ladders, and chairs match. It was the culmination of a months-long feud in the West Coast Wrestling Connection, and finally the Fangs and the Flames capturing the gold. They'll be facing the mysterious Shadows, Shadow 1 and 2. This is not a title defense. This, though, is the first appearance, though, of Gangrel and O'Shea as a tag team. And I'm not kidding, folks. I'm looking at my notes right now for tonight's show, and it's spattered with the blood, and I'm guessing saliva of Gangrel. He spit it in the air, and it reached us all the way back here at the announce position. Jeff will be joining us as soon as we get his microphone fixed here. All right, starting off, it's Mikey O'Shea, and I'm going to just say this is Shadow 1 for the sake of argument here tonight.
Well, it works. There's an uncountable number of shadows.
Okay, Jeff, hi, how are you?
Yeah, I'm doing very well. I'm having a little bit of trouble here, some technical difficulties hearing, but ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to be back, and I am so excited to see Mikey O'Shea and Gangrel as your new tag team champions.
Yep, it was a big victory for Mikey and Gangrel. And again, not a title defense, but the Shadows, you know, a mysterious tag team, tough to prepare for because you don't really know what you're getting with these two unorthodox competitors. But let's go back. I mean, the American Guns and Gangrel and O'Shea, I mean, this feud, this is basically since this show started.
Yep, we're talking months.
Those two teams for about half a year were going back and forth, a serious blood feud. And now finally, Gangrel and O'Shea coming out on top, capturing the gold. A long time coming.
A long time coming, Joe. You're exactly right. But look at this. Mikey O'Shea, they're resting on his laurels, and that's all the resting this tag team's going to get. They've got the gold, they've got the championships, and already the Shadows. And like you said, there's no way to prepare for these guys. I have never seen a tag team like them. I've overturned every stone, unearthed everything I could to try and find out anything about him. Mikey O'Shea looks like he's just going to try and use brute strength, and he just catches him. Wow!
And brute strength, Mikey O'Shea, the Irish juggernaut, he has it in spades, taking down Shadow number 1, while the Vampire Warrior, the veteran Gangrel, watching from the corner position here. Mikey turning to the crowd here at the Bob White Theater, and sidewalks him. Down he goes.
Slammed that Shadow all the way through the mat, comes up off the ropes. Look at that. Oh my goodness, the agility of Mikey O'Shea.
That's 300 pounds there, flipping through the air and almost getting the 3 count on the Shadows. And again, folks, this just kicking off a big night of action here on the West Coast Wrestling Connection. Our main event tonight, finally, Jeff, we are going to see the Zombie Princess Jimmy Jacobs competing against Danny Duggan with the heavyweight championship on the line.
It's going to be huge. That's another match, a long time coming. Jimmy Jacobs was doing all he could do, and now he gets his opportunity at the West Coast Wrestling Connection Pacific Northwest Championship. Gangrel, the legal man in the ring right now. The thing about being tag team champions, Joe V, is you've got a target painted on your back, and Gangrel and Mikey O'Shea may not have felt that yet, but these shadows really giving him a once-over.
Well, there's no question about it. Whether you're Danny Duggan as the heavyweight champion, Alexander Hammerstone as the legacy champion, or our newly minted tag team champions, Gangrel and Mikey O'Shea, when you wear that strap, when you got that 15 pounds of gold, everyone is gunning for you, and you can't take any challenge lightly here in the West Coast Wrestling Connection. Look at that electric elbow drop from the Vampire Warrior. I think Mikey O'Shea's calling for a tag right here, and in comes the Irish Juggernaut.
Well, this is exactly what makes Mikey O'Shea and Gangrel such an effective tag team. Those quick tags, cutting the ring in half, and really not giving their opponents any opportunity to mount any more offense.
Oh, looks like we're going to get a little slingshot here, courtesy of the Vampire Warrior. Wow, right into a bear hug and spine buster, courtesy of Mikey O'Shea and the Shadow felt all 300-plus pounds. Oh, but off the top turnbuckle comes Shadow number 2, I believe,
number 2,
to break up the pinfall attempt.
Number 26. It's you can't tell, but the Shadows, from wherever they come, these guys have chemistry. They know how to work together. We've seen multiple iterations, I'm assuming, of the Shadows. Mikey O'Shea, Gangrel, two of the top competitors in the business today. The top tag team in the Shadows right now in control of this matchup. I
gotta say, a very impressive show thus far from the Shadows against a team that has really become an experienced unit in the last 6 months. Obviously, the veteran leadership of Gangrel, and he's brought along Mikey O'Shea with him. Really brought Mikey O'Shea, I think, up to another level, obviously a championship level here in the West Coast Wrestling Connection.
You're right, Gangrel has elevated Mikey O'Shea, but you know, they've had just a one count there, no choice but to evolve and get better. The assaulting the American Guns put these two through, almost put Gangrel on the shelf permanently, if you remember. I will personally never forget when they maced Mikey O'Shea. That was awful for a week for me personally. They had no choice but to evolve in the crucible that were the American Guns.
And you'll remember the Guns also broke Gangrel's arm. I mean, this was one of the most vicious tag team feuds I'd ever seen. And, you know, it seemed like maybe Gangrel and O'Shea were going to be down and out, but they have that warrior spirit. They don't call him the Vampire Warrior for nothing. Fought back through adversity and finally, again, after months of hardships, ups and downs, capturing that tag team championship.
What makes them so powerful is they're not just two individuals. They actually cohese as a team, as the Shadows are doing right now.
Wow, you're going to need both men to suplex Mikey O'Shea. That's a lot of beef they're trying to hoist up there, the Shadows. But hold on, here comes the Irish Juggernaut with a double back suplex of his own. Nicely done for Mikey O'Shea, and Gangrel in the corner, hoping for the tag.
And the fans of the West Coast Wrestling Connection, you can hear them chanting for Mikey O'Shea. They want him back to their feet. They want to see Gangrel and Mikey O'Shea victorious.
The expression on Mikey O'Shea's face, shaking off the cobwebs, trying to find his partner, reaching out, it looks like, for the Vampire Warrior. And here comes Gangrel, House of Fire, taking down the Shadows. 1 and 2. Couple of body slams for good measure, courtesy of Gangrel, sizing up one of the Shadows, shooting him into the turnbuckle, grabs the other one.
There you go.
What's good for the goose is good for the gander. And here comes Gangrel.
He shakes off that boot, catches him, trap suplex right there. Shadow 1 or 2 or 27 goes over the top.
Oh, could this be the Impaler?
My goodness.
The signature DDT of the Vampire Warrior, and that's gonna be it. A big victory for our new tag team champions.
Here are your winners, Mikey O'Shea and Gangrel.
Well,
they might be the new tag team champions, but they just showed everybody they are a force to be reckoned with here in the West Coast Wrestling Connection.
They may be holding that championship for a long, long time. Big victory for Mikey O'Shea and Gangrel. Folks, we are just getting started. Again tonight, finally, Jimmy Jacobs versus Danny Duggan for the heavyweight championship. It's a big night of action right here on the West Coast Wrestling Connection. Don't go anywhere.